Well, hello and welcome to ED621A. I'm going to give you an overview right now of just this course content, and then you will start on 621A as soon as you can. So I'm going to use a pointer here and point over to the announcements on the left-hand side. I will be providing announcements to you on a weekly basis. Look for them on your email. I know you'll be getting them from other classes too, so please pay attention to the announcements, because what I do in the announcements is I give you information on what's due for next week, really just to help you keep track, and it also helps me keep track. So it serves two purposes there, because we're all busy people. We have the syllabus, and the course syllabus is the same for all three classes. I decided not to put the rubrics in it because it got confusing and the points got confusing. So you've got all three courses descriptions here. Because this is synchronous and asynchronous, which means you're independent, working independently. It's a combination. You've been scheduled for 6 to 7 every Tuesday night. We're not going to have meetings every Tuesday night. We'll have a meeting on 1/12 to do the course overview, and I already have posted the overview PowerPoint. If you're not able to attend or weren't able to attend the overview meeting and have any questions answered there, you can look at the PowerPoint, and I advise you to call me or email me, because I will answer every question you have, and if I don't have an answer, I'll find an answer. So my job is to help you be successful. So for 621A, the only online meeting we are having for this course will be the one we're having on January 12th, that we've had the course overview, and you will have already seen that or looked at that. For 621B, we'll have a couple other meetings, and 621C will have a couple of meetings, but it's like 50% synchronous and 50% asynchronous. So because this is all scaffolded, you'll understand why we'll have more contact in the next couple of courses. The required course schedules. I have 3 of them. The one that you will want to look at for this course is 621A, we have 621B, and we have 621C. I split them up because it was just too much information for one piece of paper. I appreciate efficiency, but the print was too small for my little eyes. So you have your schedule for 621A, where we're building a backwards design lesson. This is the lesson. And this is where you're getting all the pieces of the puzzle to put together. We're going to get real detailed in terms of how your understanding of them. And so here are your objectives as you go across the 4 modules. No online meeting for those 3. We met at 1/12. Your assessments are due on these dates. Please look at those dates carefully and pay attention to what you're being asked to do. There are examples in every module. And then the required reading. Again, even if you decide to peruse it instead of read it in detail and highlight it, these readings are being requested of you because they are going to help you understand what I'm asking you to do. There are as many different ways as I can get the information to you are the ways, and of course using these textbooks is definitely one of them. And we'll take a look at the textbooks right now. So remember that the syllabus is our contract. Please read through it. Course schedules are right here. And then required text and supplemental text and materials. So it may look like a lot, but we've got three classes that are building one on the other. So of course the first one you're probably familiar with, the Bloom's Taxonomy flip books. Useful, use them for student teaching, use them when you're creating your objectives and your transfer goals and everything else you're doing. Use your flip book questions, and you'll see we have a great little folder of resources for you. The book we are depending on for this whole course is The Understanding by Design by Grant Wiggins and Jay McTighe. Please make sure you have it. Borrow your friend's book. Find it in a used bookstore. I don't care, but you need to have this book, and it's really not optional. This book is the core text for this entire class, and I'm getting all the material that I'm using for it either from this book or from a workbook of theirs that I've been using to provide examples and pick up some templates, which are really very useful. In fact, the template that we're using for the lesson format is from this book. So get this book, read this book, especially when it comes to C. You will really need to come back to this book, and I cannot emphasize it enough. Integrating differentiated instruction, we're not going to be using it so much in A, but we will be using it in B. It is required. There's a lot of information in it that you will be needing. Differentiation and the Brain by Susan Tomlinson. Caroline Tomlinson is one of the differentiation gurus, of course. I don't have material on universal design for learning, but those of you that are familiar with it and like it, same material, different language. It's the same. There's a slight difference, and when we talk about that, we're going to do a lot of talking about it in B. So you definitely want, and you will need to have this book because there are some required readings in it. Classroom assessment, again, this is the book we're going to use mostly for C, but we are also going to use it for A and B when we work on our assessments. So you are required to have this book as well. If you can get it electronically, so much the better. They're ridiculously expensive, but definitely we are going to use this book. This book is neither an option. So whenever it says required, it is actually required. Strategies That Work is a recommended book. It's a wonderful strategies book and resource book, as is Q Tasks, as is I See What You Mean. And especially for those of you that are working with ELLs and special ed, I See What You Mean is really great. And actually for all people, because some of us, even regular, quote unquote, regular educators, are very visual. And this just really brings in the visual to the learning environment and into the activities and to the opportunities that you provide students. So this is also recommended, not required. You may be using it for other classes, and if you are, hooray, yay, because it's a great book to have. So at one point, a couple of decades ago, Anderson and Krathwohl updated Bloom's. And what they did was, oops, sorry, a little too fast. And I am talking fast because I don't want to spend a lot of your time. Anderson and Krathwohl updated the Bloom's. And again, you've got all these, it still explains what the intent of each level of the Bloom's taxonomy for learning was or is. And then it gives you more information based on that. And this folder has, it's a garden of information for you on Bloom's taxonomy and using, this is a very academic version of it. You will not be short of ways to look at using higher level order or higher level thinking, higher level thinking, higher order thinking, the way that you get students to think and challenge their work rather than just having them tell you the answers. So that is required texts, course content. So what we have in course content, you'll see we have Module 1, Module 2, Module 3, and Module 4. And in each module, they're organized the same way. Module 1, I'll just go over the Module 1 so you can just see how it's organized. You'll have your goal, which in Module 1 is to understand the relationship of understanding by design, transfer goals and learning objectives to the state or course standards and performance indicators, and so forth. And so there'll be a screencast for each of these. There was one, I'm going to be redoing them all. So that by the time you get here, you will see the new screencasts. And then it tells you what your task is, like attending the orientation meeting on January 12th, which you've already done, I hope. Read the course syllabus, course schedule, and so forth. So I will, again, review that with you. But whatever tasks are required of you for that module, and then what the product is of the module that is being asked of you, tells you where to submit it, due date and time. That's on the actual assignment Dropbox, and it is with the rubric in the Dropbox. And so then, if you open your module, you will have a screencast, which isn't there yet. Creating, and then this will be the stage 1, the PowerPoint for you. Measurable verbs. So I will go through all of these things. So this is all the material. These are all the material. So there's Bloom's taxonomy, unpacking standards to goals, something about objectives. There's the unit plan template you'll be using for this particular course. This is just for this particular section of the course. And then there's a checking for understanding module. These are graded. They're tiny grades, but they're graded, and they do count. So just a reminder that even though you may only have 3 points to a grade, if you have not done it, it will be a 0, which is an F. You don't want an F. I mean, goodness me. So do it, please. And what all it is a checking for understanding for you and for me. And it's really for me because I want to make sure I'm trying to, some of them are a little simpler than others, but I just want to make sure that you have the, main component basic understanding. And then here's your Dropbox, setting the stage, and you go into your Dropbox and it will explain everything. Of course, I'll explain it when I do the screencast for this section. So that is how each one of these modules is basically set up. Let me see if I have anything else I want to point out to you here. So discussions. In A, I don't know that we have any discussions. We do. There's your reflection at the end of the section. We have an end of section reflection to bring closure to the section. And then our web meeting for our web meetings. We have cultural resources. These will be, there's quite a few more, I think, in level B, but they are extremely important for you. And those of you that work, especially in the rural areas, understand the importance of cultural resources and why it's important to have access to them and to use them. And then the standards, which is like, this is where we are with it. This standards section right here will be where you will find the standards you will use for your lessons. And these will be on every website, in each section. So those are there. The rest of it is you're really on your own. And if you have any questions, please, as I mentioned before, just contact me and I will be happy to answer your questions. I'm very good with email. I do have another job where I do a lot of traveling. So January is not so bad, but February, March, and April I'll be doing a lot of traveling, and just want you to know that. That's why email is so good. Phones, not so much. But I have connectivity at each site that I visit, so there shouldn't be a problem if we have a meeting, if you want to do a Skype, or if I have a meeting set up and we're going to be having a meeting, it should not be a problem. So in all those cases, welcome to ED621A, and I really look forward to learning this curriculum process and learning and understanding about curriculum, because it's not just slapping stuff on a paper and saying, here, learn this. But to really take your time, not only in kind of scoping it out, but in getting feedback and seeing what it is that you can understand, because what it takes little steps, tiny steps. So have a great week, have a great course, and I look forward to hearing from you if you need it, and I look forward to working with you online. So with that, I'll sign off and have a good time developing your lesson. Talk to you later.